Hi, everyone. This is Yella, your friendly advisor in Ireland. Today, I'm going to talk about is this the right time to buy a house as a first time buyer? I'm pretty sure a lot of people in Ireland have this question. Should I wait or should I buy? Will the prices fall or will the prices rise? How is the supply and demand? And a lot of people make podcasts and the journals on Irish Times and RT. They have different kinds of stories depending upon who sponsored it. And in this video, I'm purely going to talk about my own thinking and what led me to buy a house or led me to think that this is the right time to buy a house. Without further ado, let's just dive in. The questions I had when I started thinking about owning a house is, what kind of house should I target? If and the kind of house I want would depend upon. Am I planning to stay in Ireland for long term or short term? What will happen to the house when I leave? Or what will happen to the house if I stay on for more than 20 to 30 years? That question was, should I go for a smaller house or a bigger one? That was always on my mind. And yeah, it depends upon individual circumstances and their future plans. The other question I had was the market conditions. In 2020, because of COVID, there's a huge demand, a lot of savings in the market, but the supply is very less. In 2020, the number of houses constructed was close to 50% of the houses that were constructed in 2019. And 2021, it's no different story. It's less than what was in Q1 2020. So the conditions are currently are very harsh. It's really difficult to get a booking or appointment to view the house, and viewings are rare too. I mean, a few people are doing based on deposits, but no, not everyone is getting the viewings, and a lot of estates are selling off the plants. So the market conditions are harsh. If you are a guy who can't take stress, I would suggest to just wait it out. If you are one, you are decided and you can handle stress, yes, I would suggest you to go. The other thing is the interest rates. The interest rates are falling down, and because you would already know this market is currently near to interest rate. Most of the banks pay native interest rate and to handle your money, and some of these Scandinavian countries. And I think I kept recently I read the news on Portugal too that the mortgage rates are also going to sub-zero interest rates. But Ireland is a little different story. But again, within Ireland, last year the interest rates were around 3. Now the interest rates came down to 2.7 with the people like Advent Money and other people coming into the markets. I think the interest rates will still fall down, and that makes your life easy because the cost you pay on because of the interest reduces, and yeah, you'll own the house for lesser money. The fourth point is the financials. You need to pay 10% of the deposit, and you also need to pay legal fees. And some of the houses you don't get money for flooring, and if you're buying a second-hand house, you would need to do a lot of renovation stuff. So, do I have enough financials for the for the purchase? And again, I'm looking for a new house, but there'll be a lot of people who are looking for a second-hand house. So you need to be considerate about your own financials and the situation you are in. You know, and the fifth question was, should I purchase a house having in mind 5 years of my future life or 10 or 15? Anything more than 10 would be a long term for me. Anything less than 10 would be a short term. But yeah, in financial world, 5 years is short term and more than 5 years is long term. But again, if you're purchasing a house, you need to make sure that that house suits you as first time buyer, again, suits you for a very long term. If you're single or a couple, you need not buy a two-bedroom apartment or a one-bedroom studio if you are planning to have a bigger house in future. So if you're planning to have a bigger house in future, buy a bigger house. Last thing is, as a first time buyer, there are few people who want to, you know, buy a property for investment, but not for staying in. So that's Ireland makes it really impossible to do that. For at least for first 5 years, you should be staying in the primary residency if you're taking help to buy scheme. If you're not, then it's a different story. Uh, but yeah, if you're planning to planning for the property to be an investment property, that you can't have it in a short term. You can only do it after 5 years of staying in that house as a primary residence. So these are the questions. I think everyone would have the same questions. I had a friend, I mean, I still have him. He asked me, Ella, is this right time to buy? Because within 2 years, the supply will increase, the demand will be normalized, and the price may fall. But I don't know. According to the survey and statistics, the prices increased by 6% in 2020, and schedule. I mean, they are estimated to increase by same price this year. And I think the story will be the same for next 2 years. Probably from third year on, if the supply has reached the demand level, which is really impossible, that did not happen in the last few decades, uh, then yes, the prices may stabilize, but they may not drop. But again, with respect to price drops, it really depends upon what's going to happen post COVID. And the thing is, most of the jobs that will be lost would be under in the unskilled jobs, and however, they are not the ones who are in the market ladder. They probably will be going for social housing and other houses, but people on the market ladder are the ones who are earning around 60K and above, at least in Dublin. But yeah, most of the cities in Ireland, that's where the market ladder is. So they'll be waiting to purchase. So yeah, I do not think the price will drop. Even if they drop, it will not be like the post-Celtic period where we had financial crisis. But again, for next 2 years at least, the price will increase. So if you're planning to buy, you can buy it now, or if you have the savings. And no, if you want to wait out, 2 years waiting will not really help you. But again, this is my personal view. But read the statistics and everything on the news to have further information. And let's come to the real point here. So, what are the pros of owning a house? This we are in a gig economy. We are in a millennial period where hiring a car is a good choice than maintaining a car. Same thing with other kinds of stuff. And renting, you are supposed to be better. I mean, people are pro renting rather than buying a house because they want to move from city to city, village to village, country to country. For them, it's a huge con to own a house. Better to rent a place. But again, if you're a guy like me who wants to have stability in life, wants to stay in a place for long term, the main pros are freedom. I need not worry about renting place every year, worry about renewing the contracts, and worry about the 4% or 8% hikes on the rents based on where you are in red zone or other zones. So it gives me a lot of freedom in sense that I need not worry about anything. So I can put my stress or other thoughts into other things. And stable housing, no moving. I need not move. And I can still, if I can change jobs or may not change jobs, but the house will be at one single place, and I can choose jobs based on where they are from the house. Privacy, yes. If you are on your house, you have a lot of privacy. If you're renting, you can have a landlord visiting the place to check on the place and all. But if it's your own house, you love it, so you basically try to keep it neat and clean. Pride, yes, definitely. Why wouldn't you be proud of owning something? Community and friendships. So most of the houses in Ireland are in the new, at least the new buildings. They are in the estates, so you will make a great friendships with the neighbors and all. And they most of the but the people in new houses who buy, they are going to buy it for long term. So you'll make great friendships, and your kids will have good friends and all. The other point is, it's a kind of investment. It's an equity. The reason being is, you are not paying rent, but you're paying an EMI. But the EMI is like rent, right? If you are paying rent for 30 years, you don't own the house. But if you pay EMI for 30 years, you own the house. So your net worth increases a lot at the end of the 30 years. But by paying rent, no, rent is a dead money. And yeah, that actually will be the answer why it's the right time to buy a house. The cons is, as I said, long-term commitment. If you are a millionaire who works to hop from country to country, there's not a, a good advice for you to buy a house. The other thing is the housing cost. If you're renting the house, The housing costs are paid by the landlord, like the bin charges, or if anything is damaged, the repair cost, the maintenance of the flat, everything is handled by the landlord. But if you own the house, you will be paying all those costs. Last but not least, we had this financial crisis in 2011, 2012. I mean, during that phase, where the house prices just dropped by 50%, but that impact is short term. So such kind of impacts you might be facing them, but in long term, um, you wouldn't really. I mean, you would be. I mean, sale price would be closer to what you are buying, or maybe little higher than that, but you'll not find such huge drops. But again, the question still lingers in the air. Is it the right time to buy the house? So for that, I'll quickly show you a few things on DAFT, and we'll also calculate a mortgage. Okay. So what in this example, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for Dublin City, or let's say Ashton. Ashton is I stayed in Ashton for 1.5 years, and it's a nice area, and I think the price is also moderate. And let's go for a two-bedroom apartment. Yeah, that's yeah, that suits couple with kid or a single person. And yeah, if you see this one nice brand new bed, two bed, three bed house here, two bed, two bath, 2,200, two bed, one bath, 1,700 a month in Avon Road, Dublin 15, 2,200, 1,700, and 1,800. These are all second-hand apartments. So if you see the price of a two-bedroom, two-bath apartment is close to 1,800. I mean, the rent, not the price. Now, if I really go to Ashtown, again, I'm going for a second-hand house because you probably will be renting a second-hand house. So this is a three-bed. Okay, let me filter it onto a bed. So yeah, 375K, 295K, 270, 289. 385. This is a bungalow. Sorry, don't consider. So let's take. I mean, the average would be around 300 even in Dublin City. So for a 300, uh, take 20% off. That would on the 300, and it would be two because banks can only give you up to 90% of the rent. So you calculate. The current rate is 2.7, but in future it will be reducing. But I don't think that will be the case with the rents. The rents would be increasing because of the immigration. If you see the monthly rent here, it's 994. Add in home insurance, add in mortgage protection, it will not even cross 1100, whereas the rent is around 1800. So it's all money. I mean, you're basically paying 70 to 80% over your mortgage payment. Isn't it ridiculous? Don't you think you're paying so much dead money without even owning anything in that apartment, and with constant fear of being evacuated, or you know paying huge fines because of some damage that's done? Yeah, that's a single point that triggered for me to actually look out to purchase a house and start saving money. I mean, even if you go for a new home, yeah, this is a new home. Let's go for a two bed. I think the old home or second-hand home or first-hand home, the prices are very similar. Not sure if Aston has any. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, let's think about maybe Lancheston new apartments. Sorry, no new apartments, but again, the prices would be around 300K for a new apartment. As simple as that. Do you want to keep paying huge rents for the long term, or would you want to pay much lesser mortgage payment and purchase a house at any time? So there's no right time to buy a new house. It's basically if you're paying a dead money, make, just make sure that you don't pay dead money for long term. Purchase a house pay half of it or 60% of that debt money towards the mortgage payment and get a bigger house, a newer house, a more freedom and stability in your life. That's it. Thank you for watching the video. If you have any questions, please drop an email to allaboutireland247@gmail.com. I'll be making many more videos on mortgage process based on where I am on the ladder. Thank you.